Welcome to the Mindset Generation, the show about the human behind the achievement, the thoughts, the beliefs, the quiet inner work that actually shapes how we live, lead, and show up. I sit down with people who've done remarkable things. Together, we explore the mindset that helped them succeed, the resilience they built, and how they did it, all in service of leading life with intention. My guest today has spent 36 years teaching the most powerful people on earth how to speak. Presidents, prime ministers. He worked with Tony Robbins before he was Tony Robbins we all know today. He personally coached Princess Diana, and he was one of the 8 Americans invited to attend her funeral. The Sunday Times of London calls Richard the master of charisma. The BBC asked him to teach public speaking to the entire world. His TED Talk on the 7 secrets of the greatest speakers in history has been seen over 3 million times. But here's why I wanted him here today. I took his public speaking course, and what I found wasn't a set of techniques for standing on a stage. It was a set of questions about who you actually are, because you can't move a room until you know what you're standing for. Richard Greene, welcome to the Mindset Generation.
Thank you. And I have to say, you were one of the most delightful and talented students that I've ever had.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, the minute I saw you, it was like, okay, this person has a lot to share.
Aww.
Because even before getting into the 7 secrets, you ooze the thing that makes all great communicators great, whether you're in front of an audience or just one-on-one. You know what that is?
What is it?
It's the A word. It's authenticity.
Oh,
there is no BS from you. You're always incredibly grounded and real and coming from a very deep and beautiful and honest place inside of yourself.
I appreciate that.
And all anyone has to do, whether they're on a podcast or on a major television show or standing in front of 20,000 people at Madison Square Garden, is to fully, completely be their authentic self and to use the authentic passion which is running through their body because they are, and they've learned how to stay connected to their essence, their being, their dharma, their purpose for being on the planet. Because one last thing, I know we could talk about so many things. I had a conversation with someone who teaches about happiness. Mm-hmm. Happiness is nothing. Happiness is fast food.
Yeah.
It's McDonald's. It's got a very short half-life. Mm-hmm. You get a new car, you get a new job, whatever. But if you are fulfilled by doing something that is connected to why you came here in your incarnation in the first place, that's a 5-course gourmet meal, and it lasts forever in your soul.
Thank you so much for these sweet, kind words. I'm so grateful to have you here. I always learn something new when I speak with you. And when I was preparing for this podcast, I thought we have just always so many different topics and we can go so many different ways. We can talk about, with you, I talk about spirituality, we talk about the voice, how to use your voice properly. And for this podcast episode, because you know how much I care about people and bringing value to my audience, I thought let's focus on the 7 secrets of public speaking and a couple of beautiful anecdotes that you have from your life, mm-hmm. from your professional career and so on. I would love to start with, you've coached presidents, prime ministers, you've coached a princess. Can you tell us, what did they all have in common?
Interesting. What every human being has in common is, at some deep level, an insecurity. I think the imposter syndrome, I'm sure many people are familiar with it, that little nagging voice in the back of your head that goes, I'm not really quite that. I'm not really deserving of being the expert. I'm not really deserving to be in this room. And they've not said it to me in that way, but I can guarantee you that the presidents and prime ministers and presidential, senatorial, whatever candidates, that's always in the back, right? That sense of human insecurity. And the reason that we are insecure, no matter what our title, no matter how many billions we have, is really a very spiritual, deeply spiritual understanding, and that is because we are not this. In other words, you're standing up and you're you're acting as president or prime minister or princess. And Princess Diana, of course, was very uncomfortable in public, and she was getting better and better before she tragically died. But that is the second thing that we are pretending. Right? So it's like, I'm prime minister, I'm a princess. It's like a role that you're playing, that in a high school play, it's like, oh, I get to be prime minister, right? So there's that, because you're not really that, because at some point you're not going to be that, right? Especially in politics. You're a former prime minister, you're a former senator. But we're not really this. You're not really, I know this sounds very metaphysical and kind of new agey, whatever, but it's actually true, and it has a profound impact on our day-to-day psychology. You're not Adela. I'm not Richard. For 50, 60, 70, 100, 150, maybe we live to 200 soon, we are...
I remember what you used to say in the course. We are spiritual beings having a human experience.
That is the essence of this spiritual psychology course that I took, a master's program with my mother, by the way. She got her master's degree in spiritual psychology at the age of 75.
That's so impressive, yeah.
But it's the essential understanding of who we are. I think there are three main questions that you have to ask to be a fully grounded human being. Who am I? Why am I here? And what is all of this? God, the universe, and how do those things relate, right? So if you believe that you are a physical thing, that I am Richard Greene, that's the I am, this body that is aging and at some point will no longer be, that has a fundamental impact on everything I do, as opposed to, I am the soul, the essence, that is inhabiting for this period of time, this physical body that everybody else and myself call Richard Greene. Once you realize that, and then you also realize that the thing that is the real thing inside of me is no different than the thing that is the real thing inside of you or Carl or anybody else. And then the next step is that it's all one.
We are all one. And that's so beautiful and so profound. Once I started your course, which I learned a lot from, I thought it's going to be based on really public speaking, just learning how to stand there. But what you were teaching us was really this deeper inner work of how to stand there and feel you belong there. That was so beautiful.
And you belong there because you are doing something in those minutes when you're standing in front of an audience that is aligned with why you incarnated into that particular body at this particular time. And when you can connect to that and you realize that the experience of connecting with 100 or 1,000 people is you're creating this connection where you get to transmit that thing, that message, that inspiration, that energy that is coming through you, then you can't fail.
Right.
And it's impossible for people to not be inspired when you are plugged into that electrical source and you are authentically transmitting it.
That is pure authenticity. And that brings me to my next question. Why is public speaking still the number one fear that people have? Sometimes it's even bigger, as you told us, than fear of death.
Well, I mentioned about the imposter syndrome.
Right.
It's like, oh my God, right? But it actually is primal. The reason we're afraid of public speaking goes way, way back, tens of thousands of years.
Yeah.
We are pack animals. We cannot live healthfully alone, even in 2026. most of the people who go crazy and become mass shooters and whatever are disconnected from their tribes. They're loners. We're not meant psychologically, emotionally, or physically to be alone. So imagine 10, 20,000 years ago, you have to stand up and present something to your tribe, right? And people hate you. They somehow see you for being not worthy to be in the tribe because of something you've said or you didn't say or how you acted when you were in front and you had the attention on you. They would ostracize you. They'd kick you out. And 20,000 years ago, if you're kicked out of the tribe, what happens?
That's pretty much the end of your life.
You die.
Needed humans.
You die. You get eaten, you starve, whatever.
Right.
So it's not a realistic thing now in 2026 for the most part, but that primal fear of being disconnected from the community and being judged in a way that could cause you to be kicked out, that runs. I mean, people who are incredibly smart, incredibly successful through my 42 years of teaching public speaking, so many of them had to take beta blockers or get drunk or go through some process because that primal response just hijacked them. And so the antidote to that is what? What do I tell people all the time in the course?
It's all about them.
First of all, it's all about them.
And it's a conversation.
It's all about them. Exactly.
Yeah.
4 words. It's all about them. Why am I concerned about myself when I'm giving you this gift that I think is going to massively help you in your life?
Yeah.
And then the way I'm going to give you this gift is not as a performance, not as a speech. Right? Take the word speech, put a circle around it and a line through it.
Yeah.
It's not a presentation. It's a what?
It's a conversation.
Conversation.
Yeah.
From my heart, also my mind, but really from my heart, about something I am authentically passionate about in order to give you this gift of something based upon my years of experience or my insights.
And when you put it like that, it's just sounds so obvious and easy, right? And I do remember, because we took this class in a group, how important it was for us to really practice that, to make that like a part of our approach when we're speaking. And what I want in this episode is for our viewers to know this is not only an episode about public speaking, you're on stage. We're always speaking publicly. As soon as we're using our voice and we're getting out of our head, we're talking to someone. So this can also be a learning about a conversation with a friend, with a family, with a spouse, with the colleagues. So it does not necessarily mean we're just talking about being on stage.
Right. And so those 2 simple things we talked about, it's all about them.
Yes.
Right? If you're on a date or you're in a business, you're in an interview, a job interview or a business meeting, and you authentically, genuinely care about them, that will inspire you to ask questions and to really listen in a completely different way than the way most people, it's like, okay, this is so important for my career. I have to nail this meeting. And it's like me. How do I look? All of that. That's not what the great communicators do.
Right.
It's all about them. And then in a conversational way, you communicate what it is from your heart.
That's very inspiring.
It's so simple. You say you had to practice it.
Yeah.
But the truth is, we have to unpractice being unreal. Right? Who we naturally are in our most authentic, raw, unrehearsed moments is the true power. For example, I have a TED Talk that has quite a few views, and I just hosted a TEDx with 35 speakers, right? And the typical TEDx thing is you rehearse and rehearse, and you memorize, practice. I had a different philosophy about it. I said, you know what? I want you just to be yourself. And if you need a teleprompter, and I know that's not the official thing, then use the teleprompter. Practice with the teleprompter, but I want this to be a natural, organic conversation between you and the audience. Because even the best TED Talks, sometimes they're magnificent, but sometimes it feels over-rehearsed and over-polished, and that disconnects me from them on a human level.
Right. So when we think about those beautiful 7 secrets, let's cluster them. I remember the first three were so, the distinction between them, the words, your voice and the body language, the 738-55%.
Nice.
I remember, I get points. So can you tell us?
You were already a star student.
The 7% are, as we know, words.
Right.
The 38% is the voice.
Right.
55 is body language. I mean, this was...
It's an earthquake in terms of how we look at communication.
Right? So it's only 7% are words. And while we overthink in our head, let me see what I want to say, how I want to say it, by the time it comes out, we're already spoke to people with our body language, right? And we're not even aware of that.
But a simple thing, it's like, I adore you, Adele. You were a great student.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to say is, I adore you. You were such a great student.
That connection is just so different.
So different body language, different voice tone. So study that was done, very controversial, 1968. A lot of people say it's BS. It's not. Clinically, in 53 countries around the world, I have proven this to be absolutely true. 7% of the impact you make on another human being or an audience is the words, right? So I really care about you. Right? I suppose I really care about you, right? Where the body language is always going to override the words. So, and if they're disconnected, that's what causes so many people to hate politicians, because their body language and their voice tone don't sync up, don't align
match,
with the words. 38% of the impact is your voice tone. And the vast majority of work that I do with people, even very seasoned politicians, is to get them to learn how to use their voice like a beautiful instrument that it is.
Can we talk?
Simple, tiny shifts in voice tone make an unbelievable difference. And people, when they get it, go, oh my God, right?
You bring me exactly to the point I wanted to ask you.
Good.
This point of the voice. And we practice this in class, but can we show our viewers how does that look like? Because we are all using our voice. It's our instrument for life, right? So how can we show this, showcase in an example? Can we do different tonalities, pitches?
Yeah, you want to try it? Let's see how you learned.
I mean, I remember, as you say, I really care about you, right? I really care about you versus I really care about you. So we're talking about accenting, putting an accent on words, pausing.
Let's make it really simple.
Yes.
If you can do one thing, it is to punctuate. And you will, if you look at the great speeches or the people on YouTube or even like Joe Rogan or any Stephen Bartlett, anybody, they naturally, maybe with some practice, but I think ultimately it's naturally, they punctuate the word or words in every sentence that they want you to really notice. And by doing that, you make it easy for the listener or the viewer to know what's important, as opposed to being monotone.
Yeah.
Right? Monotone speaking, no matter how brilliant you are, and you see this at all these conferences with these PhDs and MDs and scientists, whatever, monotone will in fact put you to sleep. It's hypnosis. But for example, so the key thing, so what was the sentence you used?
I really care about you.
So, for example, I really care about you.
Yeah.
So notice this. You have so many opportunities to just punctuate. And what word you punctuate creates a whole different universe of meaning.
Yeah,
So-
let's take that word, right?
So I really care about you, as opposed to others. Like everyone else, they treat you like crap.
Yeah.
I really, so I really care about you. And then you have a double or triple syllable word, and you have a chance to actually hit it by syllable. So I really care about you, or I really care about you. So you can split it up and you can punctuate by word or by syllable. So I care about you. I really care about. I really care about you.
Yeah.
I just do, right? So that's care. So I really care about you. That's
it's more about the you.
But we already have 3 out of the 4 words that make a big difference in terms of your punctuation. So I really care about you. So I've just punctuated the U.
Right.
So you do that exercise. You take any sentence in anything you're about to read or speak, and you practice that, and you develop this unconscious competence, that superpower of just being in the zone, and then it comes naturally. And the more you practice that, so it's almost impossible to not hold an audience if you are properly punctuating. And then there's another little secret, which is you punctuate and then pause. So I really care about you. So obviously I'm acting. It's a little forced, a little performative, but notice I really care about, so it's like you're going up what are those things in amusement parks?
Roller coaster.
A roller coaster. So you go, I really, and then care about you.
The pause is so powerful.
There was a guy recently, John Thune, who was a very kind of straightforward, nice man from South Dakota. He's the Senate Majority Leader. And he was speaking about the death of his colleague, Lindsey Graham, right? Who people really loved, more so Republicans, but he was a very unique political figure. And John Thune, I counted it, he paused and he goes, I know, pause, but he paused for 11 seconds.
Wow, that's a long pause.
And while he's pausing, you could see that he's almost going to cry. It goes, I know, pause. We will see each other again. And it's like, we've been watching John Thune for a long time. He's been a senator for like 20 years. And it's like, you instantly, even if you don't agree with him politically, you instantly fall in love. It's almost impossible not to, at least in that moment, with human beings who can pause and take you on a journey to the depth of their emotions and their very soul. And that happened on the United States Senate floor.
Wow. And
people who had known him would go, wow. But that's how simple one little pause that allows your soul to come out. There's a saying in music that God lives between the notes, right? In public speaking, it's the same thing. Pauses. God lives between the words. And if you took the pauses out of the I Have a Dream speech or any other speech Martin Luther King gave, it would be a fundamentally different and much less impactful speech.
I have a dream. Imagine if there was no pause. And the tonality, of course.
So it's two simple things like that. So you want to, create variation in your volume and your pace and your pitch, right? We can practice those things. But if you just punctuate the thing that to you is the most punctuatable, and then find a way to naturally pause, although you don't have to, that just takes it to another level, you instantly become a better speaker. Instantly.
And next to pause, there's also repetition, repeating a certain word.
You know who does that a lot?
Who?
Donald Trump. Notice him. He'll repeat a word or a phrase.
And repetition is very powerful in speaking.
Right, so I really, really appreciate you.
That's really creates such a difference.
If there's something you feel passionately about, don't rush through it. Repeat it. Give people a double bite at what it is you're saying.
Let them feel it. And we talked about body language as well. 55%. What is an instant thing that someone could do when it comes to their body language? So they're listening to this episode. Let's say they're surprised with how important it is in terms of percentage and thought they were focusing on words, but it's actually body language. What's that one thing they could do right away?
So many things. First of all, if you want to look younger, okay, we're in West Hollywood, Beverly Hills. Everyone wants to, you can go get Botox or whatever, or you can pull your shoulders up.
Yeah.
You look at people like men who are like 60 or 70 or 80, and they're like that. If they just do a little exercise and they stand up, they look 10 years younger. Am I right?
Definitely.
So even more than 10 years. So there's that. But the most important thing about body language in terms of public speaking is used to be the gold standard was you look over the heads of the people in the audience or imagine them naked, right? It's like, which is the stupidest thing ever, right? It's the worst thing you could do for so many reasons. But what great public speakers do in one-on-one and one on a million is they look in the eyes of the people. Like when I was teaching the class, I'm pretty sure that every single person in the class felt like they were having a one-on-one conversation with me, even though there were like 15 people.
The eye contact. Yeah.
But you could do that even if there's 15,000. You just pick someone in one part of the arena, the room, and another. It's that intimacy. The eyes are the windows of the soul. And when we wear sunglasses, one of my pet peeves, right? Or we don't look at people in the eyes, that disconnects us from them and diminishes our ability to bond with them. Do you know that when human beings look into each other's eyes, it releases oxytocin, the bonding chemical? Also, when you look in the eyes of a dog.
Beautiful.
That's one of the reasons we are so incredibly connected to dogs.
Yeah. That's very powerful. The eye contact is. And why do you think some people don't feel comfortable with it?
Because they're not making it, they're not following the 4 words. If it's all about me and I'm a little insecure and we're having eye contact and I feel like you're looking into my soul and I'm not happy with who I am, I'm going to want to look away.
Right.
But the answer is to make it about them. And it's much easier, for example, to reach out your hand and shake someone's hand. Then you're in control, as opposed to, oh my God, always being on the receiving end of attention.
Reactive, yeah.
Yeah, but again, do it authentically. Because, by the way, authenticity is like being pregnant. You either are or you're not.
I love that. I remember when you said that. That's just like,
there
you
is
either
no
are or you're not.
99.9% authenticity,
Yeah.
just like there's no 99.9% pregnancy.
Right. This brings us to secret number 4, the compelling message. What's the headline?
Well, it's the laser compelling message.
Yeah.
So you don't want to give a talk about podcasts, right? That's boring, right? You want to have a lasered, compelling theme that is provocative, bold and provocative. So what's the coolest thing, Adela, about podcasts and the potential for podcasts?
Connecting to human beings.
So podcasts, make a statement, a headline. Podcasts
are a window to connecting to different human beings, reaching people you didn't think you would reach, for them to hear a story that inspires them.
Let's make it even more. Podcasts are one of the most powerful and intimate windows, right?
Podcasts are the most powerful and intimate windows.
If that's true. Maybe it's one of the, but you want to go to the edge of being provocative, but still always stay to a place where you can support it.
I love this. Thank you for bringing me back to those learnings. It's so important.
It's like you wouldn't read an article in a newspaper, remember those? Or on, an article that's coming across your Instagram or Facebook or whatever, if the headline didn't capture you.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you're speaking, make every speech a headline and then subheadline. So we teach, as you know, a structure on how to do that, where you can make a speech in what did I take, 20 seconds?
On anything, yeah.
On anything.
I remember that.
You can create a speech in 20 to 30 seconds using this secret 4 technique.
Yes, so I remember Richard gave us this exercise where he told us to select a random topic for him. And oh my, he showed us that he can definitely speak on any topic.
Do you remember what it was?
Using this, something,
I don't know. It's just,
some article like technology or something very...
Or it could be light bulbs. It could be
anything.
It could be, white shoes.
Yeah.
Right. And it's so fun when you can do that, because then you constantly can keep engaging and holding on to the audience, because attention spans are short, and they're getting shorter.
Secret 5 is that it's a conversation.
Yeah, so we
talked about that, right?
So the the communication effectiveness continuum is if you were giving a performance at the audience, I give that a 0. Because it's not you. You're not being authentic. You're being an actor, right? And acting, by definition, is not you unless you're the great actor in the world and like a Meryl Streep or whatever, where you become that person, right? But it takes a lot of training to get to that point. So don't give a performance, don't give a speech. That's 0. Most business people give presentations because it's all about the frickin' information. But we are in a place now with AI and so much information available to us like that, unlike when I was a kid, that your ability to transport information from one place, your head or a document or a PowerPoint, into their head is not that important anymore. Because they can get almost anything.
Yeah.
AI, so blah, 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 boom. And they're going to get it in a more polished form than you're likely ever going to communicate it. So what is your value when you are a business person, you're up there teaching? Your value is to inspire them and infuse them with that soulful, authentic passion and perspective that can only come from you.
And that's
having a conversation, not a performance at, not a presentation to, but a conversation with. And then people let down their guard and they have an experience with you, and then they absorb, they digest so much more.
This is so true. I remember, even to this day, if I hear somebody's pitch or a presentation that feels more like a conversation, I'll always remember it. I won't remember the data from the slide.
Right.
I'll remember the person, their passion for what they're talking about, and then they just lurk you. They pull you in with this authenticity that just flows out of them.
That was Bill Clinton's secret. That, for the most part, was Barack Obama's secret.
Yeah.
And in a very different way, that is Donald Trump's secret. He's very conversational, so people can relate to him, regardless of what he's saying.
Yeah. We talk about Secret 6.
Yeah, so Secret 6 could take a whole hour and a half. It's based on neuro-linguistic programming, which I learned originally from Tony Robbins back in the 80s. And that we have 5 different senses that we process through our brain. And those 5 senses translate into 4 different communication languages: visual, high energy, blah, blah, look at this. And, Tony Robbins, or think Robin Williams, are very dynamic, high energy, which is great for some people. On the other end of the spectrum, it's the kinesthetic. It's tasting, touching, smelling, feeling. I mentioned about Senator Thune when he paused and he became emotional, and when he was talking about Lindsey Graham, that was him going deeply into his kinesthetic. And that's where human beings really connect, okay? And then, so visual on one end of a keyboard, high notes, and then kinesthetic, or tasting, touching, smelling, feeling, the lower notes, the more emotional, slower ways of talking and moving. And then in between, we have auditory, which is, attractive words, attractive voice tone, telling a good story, right? Good communication skills. And then we have a subset of that, which is the Albert Einstein part, which is called auditory digital. Do you get a sense when you're listening to that speaker that he or she really knows what they're talking about? That they're basing their whole thing on facts and statistics and experience, and that you can count on it, right? You're not going to invest money with someone who's just giving these very big imaginary figures. Oh, we're going to triple our bottom line in the next 6 months, right? As opposed to, you need the facts. So which ones do you want when you're a public speaker? All of them. You got Tony Robbins, you got Oprah Winfrey, you have Bill Clinton, you have Martin Luther King. The great public speakers in history had the visual language that they were fluent in, the auditory digital, and also the I feel your pain, connecting kinesthetic. And you can train yourself to be all 4 of those by accessing all 5 of your God-given neurological parts.
Beautiful. I I've learned so much with these 6 secrets. The 7th one we talked about, the authentic passion.
Right.
So important.
Which, here's the good news, right? Yes, watch my TED Talk, watch my BBC Maestro course, watch this. But the truth is, the good news is you can be technically horrible. You can not do secret 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But if you are, even if you're an introvert and incredibly shy and uncomfortable, whatever, if you are authentically passionate about what you're talking about, people will listen.
Yeah. And people, I'm sure, are staying with our podcast until now when I want to ask you about Princess Diana. And
Real quick.
Yeah.
Some of the worst communicators I've ever met in 53 countries around the world, when they've gone into their authentic, vulnerable passion, they've gotten standing ovations. And it blew their mind because they didn't know, just by being fully themselves, that they could be that powerful. Princess Diana.
Can you tell us, how was it to work with her? What did you see in her back then? How was it?
So there are, one of the things I love about traveling and about meeting people is there are magical people. There are magical people. She was a magical person, which is why heads of state and people would just kind of come unglued when they met her. There was so much Shakti, so much life force, spiritual energy coming out of her eyes, that one time when I met her and she said, "Hi, Richard," and it's like, I almost fell over.
Wow.
But she was also extraordinarily insecure and vulnerable. And she hated public speaking. She was so, I even brought up once, I said, well, you know, your first speech is when you became a princess. And she literally holds up her hand and said, no, I don't even want to think about that. I can't, it was too painful. And had she lived, she was just extraordinary because she was so deeply caring and authentically passionate about so many things, and her vulnerability was her strength. And every woman in the world who fell in love with her could see themselves in her.
She was indeed wonderful.
And she was funny, and people didn't think she was smart. She was pretty freaking smart. She was very clever.
Thank you for sharing that story with us.
You're welcome.
She was really wonderful.
It was just, it was devastating when she went. Because she was an important voice in the world. And she was just coming into her own. So, but we have other amazing female leaders.
Yeah. Time flies by with you, as always, as we know. Time really flies with you. I had so many questions, guys. I wish I would have had him for so much longer. I want to do a quick rapid fire with you before you taught us all of these beautiful things. Quick questions. Book that changed your life, Richard.
Oh, wow. Wow. I would say probably 2 books that I talk about all the time. It's The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle, and Power versus Force by Dr. David Hawkins, who I got to interview before he died. It's that his model of the world is unbelievable, extraordinary, and I use it all the time.
Greatest speech ever given? Don't tell us that it's the TED one, or is it?
The TED one?
The TED Talk that you did.
Oh, no, I wouldn't.
What was the greatest speech you've ever given?
Oh, that I've ever given?
Yeah.
I thought, some of the speeches that I will be giving in the next 30 years of my life. Because I believe, honestly, I mean, I'm 72, and I feel so blessed to have the experiences and the wisdom more and more every day, and I think I'm just getting better.
One thing you're currently learning?
Oh my God, that's a great question. Everything. I'm addicted to learning. I am so curious, which Einstein said was the number one human quality. I am so addicted to Instagram, YouTube, TikTok videos because I learn 50 different things every day. And it just makes me feel like a kid.
Wonderful. I remember Richard coming to every class, teaching us new fun facts about the universe and metaphysics. And he has really versatile interests.
Einstein said, either there are no miracles in the world or everything is a miracle. I believe everything is a miracle. So it's like I'm a little kid at a candy store with knowledge.
I love that. The most beautiful thing anyone ever said to you.
Daddy.
Favorite quote for the
I have an amazing daughter who is also as good of a public speaking coach as I am.
Can you tell us some more information about your daughter? Where can they find her work?
Contact me and I will put you in touch with her. She's amazing. Anyway.
Favorite quote for the end?
I think the one I just gave you. Mm-hmm. Only two ways to look at the world, that there are no miracles or that everything is a miracle.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Richard, for inspiring us, for sharing us your wisdom, your knowledge. I'm sure that we will invite you again for an episode because this was just scratching the surface on
so much more
how much more there is to talk with you. I could have spent hours with you. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
And you're amazing. You embody everything that we talked about.
Thank you so much. That means a lot coming from you.